Hey everyone, welcome to the Designer Show. Here we are in October. Can you believe it's October already? And I'm on here with John, Renee, and Kevin. Robin will be here shortly. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Yeah, me too.
Beautiful here in Kansas City. I can't tell you how beautiful it is.
Yeah, we've got it's gorgeous here in Minnesota too. Sun shining like crazy. I think we're in the low 60s, something like that today. 70s
Yep.
tomorrow.
How is it tomorrow, Norman?
Hotlanta. I like that. That's pretty good.
51 in Seattle.
Renee was saying yesterday that you're doing some pretty nasty hot weather in California, huh?
It's just hotter than we're accustomed to. So it's been 90, 94 inside my house.
Yikes. No, thank you.
No, thanks. All right. So we're just chatting here beforehand about really nothing. But today we're going to talk a little bit of plan review. Kevin's got a few things he would like to pick up on from the last session that we had held. I know Renee has got a plan that he would like to talk about. That he's got some things that I don't know. Renee, can you kind of summarize what you're going to talk about in that plan you've got?
I don't know everything that I'm going to run into in that plan, to tell you the truth.
You're about to find out. Huh?
Yeah, it's a user that's been struggling with just mainly all the intersections between foundation walls, struggling with roofs, struggling with framing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
nothing really then.
my experience with their posts online have been that they click a lot of boxes and change a lot of settings that they don't need to necessarily change. So
yeah, that happens.
Maybe it's reversing the things that you messed up is the goal of that plan.
Yeah, I've had plans where I've actually started over, so hopefully it's not one of those. Sometimes it's just easier.
I got one a week or so ago where somebody was asking me, now that you've designed this entire space at 2,600 square feet, can you just give it to me again at 1,800?
Sure.
Edit area, here we come.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I've been kind of going through that with a client too. Just it's that double remodel I was showing you guys at one time, and with that big parting wall, we're going to do it in 2 stages. And yeah, had it almost done, and then they came back and said, "Yeah, we're going to trim 1,000 feet off the project." So it's like, okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Part of the deal. I mean, it's like, they got to thinking, they were in the mid fives, well, close to 5,000 square feet. And it's like, their family lifestyle, their budget and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, they just don't want a house that big. And, plus we started smaller, then we went bigger. So anyway, it's just part of the process, isn't it? Yeah, that's how you find this stuff out.
You just, but the idea that you can shrink a space into a lesser size of the same space, this is not a geometrical shape that can be just concentrically resized.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. They don't have that tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's called your brain. That's what the tool is. Yeah, that's why they hire us to help them through all of those challenges. Bear with me a second. I am looking for something, but before I get to that, you guys right behind me, you can see the Total Immersion Summit for 2025. We still have space available. You guys check it out, chiefexperts.com, and you can look that up. We've also got a little room for our class coming up next week. John and I will be teaching a class here in Minnesota. If you have any interest, we have a 2-day beginner intermediate class and a 2-day intermediate advanced class, or you can take all 4 days. John and I have a ball teaching these classes, and we cover a ton of material. So if you're looking to really dive into Chief and really get into it, come check out our classes. Again, chiefexperts.com. It's on the homepage. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it right there. So I think we've got, what was I saying, John? We got 9 in the first 2 days, 7 in the second 2 days. So we've got plenty of room. I mean, it's going to be a small class, so it'll be fun. Anywho, enough of that. And don't forget to look for John's website, imaginedrafting.com, Kevin Tranzo, designbuildexperts.com, and of course, Rabbit, design.net to check out what they've all got to offer. So I know we're all here to help you. So please reach out to any of us. Okay. Kevin, you have some things you wanted to talk about that we talked about in our last session, where we had gotten into how do you start the process with a client? That kind of where we were at with that.
Yeah, that's where we were. And there were some interesting questions that were coming up in the chat that we, of course, don't have time to get to everything. So I just felt like it might be good to kind of continue where we left off, not to repeat what we did, but to say, okay, so we've gotten through the stage of, somebody made a phone call and we've chatted to them on the phone, kind of a pre-design consultation on the phone, which is really intended more so that both they and we, as we accept a call, can decide whether this is somebody we want to continue working with. Mm-hmm. One of those questions that came up had to do with, okay, so you charge to go out to the initial consultation and pick a number. And in my case, the number that I said last week was $250, or 2 weeks ago was $250 in order to get up out of my chair and disrupt my day and go meet with them with the hope that potentially there's something there on the other side.
Right.
So some of that was about making sure that you're getting paid for your time. But realistically, none of us can support ourselves on a whole bunch of $250 introductions. That $250 is more than that. That's designed to say, how serious are you about wanting to talk to me? And and from their standpoint, they're looking at it like, if I'm the typical homeowner, how many different opinions can I get so that I can make a better judgment call about where I want to go with my project? And gee, wouldn't it be nice if they were all free? So we run into that conflict between free estimates and paid consultations. And my philosophy that I both will teach more in depth at the summit or anywhere else that anyone would care is the idea that you're getting paid for your time for sure, but that payment is really kind of a filter for things that you may feel like are worth your effort to get up out of your chair in the first place.
I do love this comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin, on that topic. What's the hardest part about saying you charge a $250 initial consultation?
And that was the primary question that I remember coming out of last week. Was somebody asked, what is your acceptance rate or rejection rate for saying that to somebody? Yeah. My short answer to that is that I'm more of an abstract person than I am a linear person. So I don't actually keep track of such things, but I can tell you that it's exactly what I expect, which is that people that are serious and really want to talk to me are willing to invest that $250. People who are not serious or just looking for another free estimate are going to say, okay, well, I'll talk to my husband and call you back. And that's the end of it. And that's fine with me because they weren't my client to begin with.
Correct.
So
would you say that much of the time? Go ahead, John.
What's your closing rate for the people who do pay you the $250?
I would say it's above 90%. But that probably, I'd say it's above 90%. But the important part about that is that we have pre-qualified each other. And so by the time you walk onto that job and discuss with and talk with them, they're already somewhat invested in you and your time. Then it comes down to, okay, so now that I'm here in person, how well do I present myself? How well are my processes regarding interviewing or assessment or determination or concepts or the kinds of things that I can throw out there that make me uniquely me. Right. So it's important on both sides. right?
So part of the process, part of this whole thing that we're talking about, I mean, there's nothing written in stone for any of this stuff. It is, you kind of make the call as you go. But you can always start with a predetermined policy, call it a policy for your company. Yeah, we charge a $250 initial consultation fee. However, because you're a strong referral, because there could be a whole bunch of criteria involved here that would say, okay, I'll just come on and look at it. I'm not going to charge you that fee. You get to make that call, but at least the owner knows, the client that you're about to see knows that, oh, we're getting a $250 value for free. Whoa, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that, but I can chime in here that I think that the use of that should be sparing. For instance, it might be the best friend of the neighbor across the street that you're going to see every day for the rest of your life. Okay, well, I might be more forgiving in that situation.
Exactly.
Or it might be a family member, or it might be, somebody from your church you're just trying to do a good deed with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons for you to forgive that charge, but for the most part, I don't. For the most part, I state it, and I state it clearly, kindly, absolutely, that this is what I charge to come out and chat with you, and I will, during the course of that chat, be looking at the possibilities that I see and that you see, and talking about your budget and all the things that go into that, and we'll have a wonderful time.
Yeah. So, but it is important that a client knows, if someone does decide not to charge it, that here's the value of my time that I'm going to give you for a complimentary. Okay. Never get the word free out of everything that you do. It's complimentary. Don't you ever use the word free. It's a bad word in our business.
Funny thing is online, free is a really big word. When you're putting your online teasers out, people love to see the word free. So but I agree with you when it comes to professional services, nothing is free.
Yes. So John, you were just down visiting with Mike, and he's complimenting your cargo van that you used to drive all over the country in. So cool.
Yeah, it's fun meeting him.
Yeah, that's great. So
and Jeff, I agree with you that I do make it clear that first meeting is not about anything but concepts. And as I said last time, I don't even show up with a tape measure. I have no intention of measuring anything. My first meeting is just there and I let them know that during the course of that meeting, is to find out if the two of us would love to work with each other, if we're a good fit, if all of those things. And it's just there to share ideas.
Yeah.
I also am very careful about the ideas that I share. So I might tell them through the course of their, well, I have 3 ideas that I would love to explore with you, which tells them that, okay, he's got something up his sleeve, but I'm not telling him what those ideas are. I'm just discussing with them that I have those ideas. Yeah. And I'll come back with 3 different plans for those ideas.
And knowing you will come back with 3 amazing ideas. And that's really what all of us are selling, our ideas. And as I'm working with clients all the time too, and I'm amazed at the stuff I come up with. Where did that come from? I mean, I come up with some pretty cool ideas sometimes, not just the ideas of how to do something, but the ways that gets built. Oh yeah, we can't do this here because of this, but we have to do this over here because of that. So people are really hiring us for our expertise for many, many reasons throughout the design process. Anywho, cool. So you guys, keep that in mind. We are selling our knowledge. That's a big part of what we sell. Even if you're a contractor and you're selling boards and subcontractors too, keep in mind that you have all that knowledge to bring all of that stuff together. I mean, Kevin, you were a general contractor for a very long time, and you charged a lot for your design even when you were doing general contracting, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So that was a profit center for your business, and I've been preaching on that forever.
Yeah.
But,
it absolutely should be, but it just amazes me the number of people who don't consider it a profit center and who are actually they look at it like it's an expense center. Like this is the cost of doing business. No, that's absolutely a profit center, and you get paid for every hour that you want to get paid for. So,
so true. So true. Cool. Well, let's move on.
All right.
But I love this conversation. We'll kind of keep going through this. I hope you guys enjoy this.
Format.
Whatever you want to call it. It's a great conversation because everybody I talk to all day long in this design world goes through this. I mean, there's no hard written rules about what you should and shouldn't be doing with your design business.
I have another completely off topic thing that, if it's okay, I want to just toss in here.
Sure.
And that is that I was reading a headline this morning. You guys know that that I absolutely love artificial intelligence, and especially that can be used conversationally with me in a text form or conversational, because it's an amazing tool for finding out both right answers and wrong answers to things. But anyway, I am amazed by it. I use it I probably use ChatGPT at least 10 times a day. And the way that I use it might bend a lot of minds in terms of the kinds of things that I use it for. The part that I'm bringing up is that this morning I read that for the first time, artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT-4, has beaten the Turing test. If you know that Turing back in 1956, is it, Dan, do you remember? When Turing came up with the original concepts.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah,
the guy
named Turing. Yeah.
When he came up with the concepts of artificial intelligence, and they started, looking at that, they started saying, at what point is artificial intelligence now competing with humans?
I got some advice for you guys, by the way.
Yeah.
You got to pluck your nose hairs before you go live. They just sit there and tickle you, and you can't even focus.
Thanks for offering.
Okay, good. Be right back.
Thanks for going off camera to take care of that.
Yeah, a little awkward levity. Appreciate it. Anyway, so this morning I was reading that for the first time in tests done with the original tools to test Turing with ChatGPT 3.5 and with ChatGPT 4.0, the ChatGPT 4.0 convinced people that it was human 54% of the time. So it has now beaten that flip of a coin assessment, which is really interesting. The part that I find fascinating about that, well, one part that I find fascinating about that is that it is doing that. The other part, of course, is where you can take that with a grain of salt. So if any of you all would like to hear more about ChatGPT, it's that kind of competition, how it's progressing, all those kinds of things, I'd love to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, we should actually do a show on again here pretty soon, because it is so useful in our business. I use it for a lot of things as well. It's my new search engine for sure. When I have questions about a project I'm working on.
Yeah.
Mike says he's a super cynic. He trusts nothing. Mike, you can trust us. Come on now. Hey, Robin. You made it. Yay. Looking good. Would you take some of the curls out of your hair or what?
Did I what? Yeah, well, this is what happens when I wake up in the morning. So I have my grandson here today. Hi, you guys. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Becky Sue, I haven't seen you since, oh my gosh, New Orleans. It's been a long time. Anyway, hi, everybody. Yeah, my grandson's here with me. So I'm getting Dino TV set up for him. So hopefully it'll work and we'll be good.
You'll be good.
So, yes.
You'll be good. You just missed a great conversation, but other than that, we're good. All right. Let me, I am going to share my screen for a minute. Where did it go? Share screen. Oops. Let's jump into a little Chief Architect stuff.
Kind of
Share
lost it.
screen. There it is. Okay. Share my screen. And where did Chief go? There you are. Okay. So here's the deal. People have problems with Chief Architect, right? I mean, I rarely do, but yeah, right. Of course, after all the years of working with Chief, when you have a problem and you can't solve it, you learn how to work around it. So it's just like, yeah, it is what it is. And as you use it more and more, you learn. Part of working with Chief is think about the programmers putting this together, how they take a computer software like this and make it into something that acts like we're building a house. You know, we're kind of pretending we're building a house when we're in reality, all we're doing is building a bunch of 3D boxes on the screen.
Hang on a second. I have to interrupt. Mike,
Go ahead.
I love you. Put up Mike's comment. I love you, Mike. Thank you. Robin should do a show where she walks around the kitchen behind her and shares the thought about what went into it. I think that's a brilliant show. Thank you.
I agree. You need to
I'd
do
be
that.
very happy to.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Dan. Take it away.
We could have so many different show ideas. It'd be fun. Anyway, so I'm just going to jump in this one real quick. This is a really simple thing. Someone had a question about something not working on a overhang in this particular plan. This guy designs.
Well, I think I see the problem. The house moves around.
Yeah, no, that's me. The center point here is kind of whacked out. So so let's get back to.
Are you using your space mouse, Dan?
Yeah, I am. That's all right. I'll fix that real quick. I'm going to click on this roof right here, and I'm going to click this little icon right here. I'm going to just reset the rotation of center. And when I do that, now when I rotate around the plan, I'm rotating around that point. So you can do that with Chief anytime, even if your project's way off. Anyway, this is a simple little thing, but I want to point out why this kind of stuff happens sometimes. You see how that's not filling in right there? He's doing the flush overhang.
Oh,
okay. Dumb little question. But the reason that's not working is because the wall, if you click on the wall here, look at where it ends. The attic wall that is being generated here isn't going out far enough. So sometimes a simple solution, sometimes you'll see that too, where you put on the, you're putting on your freeze board and the freeze board comes up short. It's probably because there's a roof in the way or there's a wall too short because it doesn't have enough surface to generate that molding polyline that creates that. So what I did earlier was I did a simple fix where I deleted that. And now I have to go back to the floor plan and delete the invisible wall that was just created when I did that. So we go up to the attic, there's that invisible wall. So I delete that, Chief generates a new wall. And let's see if that fixed it. It did not. So I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit and see if that fixed it. Of course, it worked before when I did it. Let me do this again. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to go create a new wall and just go draw a wall there. So see how Chief is putting that back in. Oh, the other thing that I checked was, did he have this default wall top height in the right place? Okay, so it didn't work. Let's try it again. So at any time you can go into your attic and you can then stretch your walls out, do different things with it. Yes, I want to make it so it stays there. See how this side goes to there. This side needs to go to there. Let's see if that fixed it. And then voila, it's done. So the overhangs do interact with walls all the time. Sometimes they'll interact with the baseline. Sometimes they interact with the walls. You can rest assured the moldings on the siding would interact with the walls as much as the roof, but mostly the walls. Anyway, I just want to cover that one. So, so that was just a matter of having to go fix that wall. Stupid little thing. But those are the kind of things that can drive you nuts sometimes when you're trying to create a really nice model. So that's all I got on that one.
Another solution to that. Don't take a camera view that can see it
from that angle. Exactly. All right, Renee, you had something that you were going to show us. Why don't you go ahead?
I do, and then also Mike's got a good question here.
Okay.
In saved plan views, I set the floor level to each unique plan view, meaning that he is in his plan view designation. If we get into edit the active view, he's saying that instead of using any floor, he's actually designating a floor. And then he's saving that saved plan view and saying, this is first floor plan. This is second floor plan. Is there a best way? The reason that I use any floor is because on the layout side, if we just open up a brand new layout, we can link. Here's a proposed main level floor plan. Well, if I went into this floor plan and I added a second floor, when I go back to layout, I could just easily open this up and say that I want to use the second floor. It means that I have less saved plan views to manage, and I can reference any floor that I want, so that it's automatically going to pick up for a second floor. So I can just copy it across pages. That's the reason I don't associate a particular floor with certain plan views.
I know
Other plan views like the foundation plan, yeah, I want to
Yeah.
save foundation plan.
Yeah. Now, Mike, if I were with you, my first question would be, why do you do that? Okay. You know, maybe you have a real specific reason why you do that, but 99.9% of the time, you just use all floors. I remember I had a client once that did that, and he also set up layer sets for each one of those floors. So he had different saved plan views for different floors and different layer sets for each different floor. And it was a nightmare. I mean, he had such long lists of things that you come back to the plan a month later and you go, I have no idea why. Anyway, try to keep it simple.
I don't know why Mike's saying this, but he says that Space Mouse doesn't work on a Mac. I mean, it does.
It does.
So I'd question why.
Or, you know, if you need help, you know, get a hold of one of us.
Well,
get a hold
of you, because
he's crazy enough to run a Mac, and he has a Space Mouse.
Back on the use any floor versus not. I think that the key, the simplest way to think of it is if there are common attributes that you're trying to show. For instance, I'm looking at a floor plan view. Well, I want to see that floor plan view with the same layers, whether I'm on the first floor, the second floor, or maybe even the attic. The foundation is usually a little different, so maybe not. But if you are, then use any floor is completely appropriate. It's when there's some sort of difference that you need to illustrate on the resulting set. If you've suddenly switched your layer sets for some reason or whatever, because you want to demonstrate or illustrate something else, that's when you should use a specific floor in your plan view.
Let's see. He's saying Chief fails. Now, I know the potential solution for the potential problem here on a PC side, and Kevin has figured out this same solution on the Mac side. But if we have multiple installations of Chief, meaning we've installed Chief Architect X14, we've installed X15, we've installed X16, there is a config file that is used by the Space Mouse. And that config file, I know where to find it on PC. I don't on Mac, but it still exists on the Mac. And what's happening there is if we open up that config file at the very first line of code, is this issue right here. It's only going to install for the version that you had when you installed the driver package. And so it's only listing X14. So it's not going to initiate if it doesn't see a new line of code that says X15, X16 as well. So you actually have to come in here. You have to stop the driver, force quit the driver, and then you have to copy this line and paste it a couple times and change the program's path to X15 and X16. This is...
Would it work to just reload the drivers?
You could probably uninstall the drivers and uninstall the drivers, use some resource to totally get rid of them, and then install them again. And if you don't have X14, X15 on your machine, but otherwise it is easy enough to add in these two lines of code, save it, restart the driver, and it will start working again. So I have run into that problem. So I do have to do that every version for me anyways.
I'm pretty sure we addressed that in the summit.
We did.
And it's one of those things that, you know, we've told all of you that the summit is good for not just some sort of structured education, but sometimes the best value of the summit is all of the things that we talk about in off hours, pursue problems, chase things at midnight, all that kind of thing. So you know, keep that stuff in mind. I think half of your value is coming after the class.
Yeah, I mean, amongst all of us, we've all run into some kind of tech issue that we might have a solution for. So yeah, it does help.
It does help.
Yeah, I mean, we have computers breaking down there and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Actually, I think
happening,
more of the learning actually happens outside the classroom. It's amazing what we come up with outside the classroom. It's really fabulous.
That is very true.
All right, let me get into this.
All right.
Plan.
All right, but we need to answer this question first, since it's on that same.
Any floor fail when using the reference display for floor plans. So all that's going to happen, no, it does not. It will still reference whatever you're referencing. So no, that still works.
Yeah, I can't see any correlation there, though. There wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's going to be in terms of what's sent to layout. What's sent to layout is a floor that you've linked to layout, right? So use any floor doesn't just change as you're working through your plan view in terms of the layout side of some view that you sent to layout. Whatever you sent to layout, that's going to be locked into that floor.
Yeah.
So
well, remember, the views on a layout page are viewports. They're not anything other than that. They're just looking at what's in the plan itself. The layout page has nothing to do with what you see.
And if you were going to do a reference file that's showing your as-built versus your new design, or showing plumbing that has to go into concrete or something like that, you would set that up as a new saved plan view for that particular instance.
Yep.
John, I think the problem you're running into, John, if I'm guessing right here, is when you say it loses the correct floor, it's not. It's that you have your reference floor designation set to automatic. So it's going to show the reference floor as the last floor you were on. It's going to show it if you bounce up to the attic and come back to the second floor, it's going to show the attic. If you're on the first floor and bounce up to the second floor, it's going to show the first floor. So that may be what's confusing you there.
Maybe. Yeah.
You can tell it specifically that I want to always, in my reference layer or my reference plan, I want it always to be referencing, the first floor or the basement or whatever. But if you have it on automatic, it's going to catch the last bounce.
Okay. So we've got this plan. I know this user's they're learning Chief Architect. They're in their first year. Look at that. Deck's not rebuilt. That's fine. And I know that these roofs are manual. And I also know that this person keeps designating walls as foundation walls to force footings, as opposed to using Chief's auto build foundation tools. And we discuss this a lot. When I do a walkout basement, I'm doing it on floor number 1, not floor number 0. My floor number 0 is reserved for my footings or stem walls and footings. And so what they're doing here instead is, you can see that there's some footing markers here, and that's because they're actually opening up these walls and designating that it's a foundation wall and forcing the build of a footing instead of using the automatic foundation tools. And then they are also not, they're changing some settings from room to room, and I don't know why necessarily, but I know that this project is supposed to be a monoslab all at one level. And so the issue that this plan was uploaded for was that these particular walls right here are unconnected, because every time this user connects these walls, it is generating a room definition, and that room
Renee,
definition.
what floor are you on?
I'm on floor 0.
Okay.
So this is when these walls are connected, it generates a room definition, and those room definitions are different, right? And so it's doing some kind of, it's creating a bunch of step markers everywhere, and that's because those definitions are different. So
did they set their defaults at all?
What's that?
Did the defaults get set?
I know that this user likes to click buttons and see what it does, and doesn't necessarily revert back. And Not that they're just doing it arbitrarily. They're trying to follow videos from Chief's library, and Chief's library could be from any version, and
Yeah,
maybe they're
exactly.
not cohesive. And so the first thing that I like to do is let's just kick this all up one floor, and let's insert a floor below, and let's use that automatic build foundation. Now, there's a problem with that here because we have manual roofs already. So what happens when we go and insert a new floor, and because we're on floor 0, Chief knows that a new floor means we're adding a new foundation plan level. All right. And the one thing I want to note is that this floor is negative 33.5, and I want to copy that. I want to just keep that in my clipboard. So that built a new foundation level, and already we see this isn't really matching up at all, right?
Close.
Let's just get this tiled side by side. Now, what happens when we want to see 2 levels at the same time? So I want to build and work on that level 1, and I want it side by side with that foundation plan. There's one kind of easy way. We could get into the project browser, and I might even come over here because this is the working plan view. I might actually save this plan view as. So I'm going to save the active view as. I'm going to call this the foundation plan. Doesn't matter that it's associated with the same layer set as the other working plan is. So there we go. I've got a foundation plan. And now because I made that new save plan view, I could come into plan views in my project browser, and I could get back into that working plan view just by double clicking this. Now I've opened up a separate tab. So here's the working plan. I can tile it over here, go up a level, and start working on this while I see what's going on with the foundation level if I'd like. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I just want to select all these walls and get rid of all those footings and stop designating them as foundation walls is one thing. But the next thing is this shape is very funny. Something's happening here where we've got
really
no
like
room definition or something's going on, right?
Room definition must have been missing when you did that.
Right.
Insert
So I'm going
floor.
to select one room and use select marquee similar. This is my edit toolbar, usually at the bottom of your screen, and then select all similar. And that's selecting all my rooms now down here. And I'll open them up. And I like to just go through, because I know all of these rooms have the same structure set up. They should have the same structure set up for this particular project. I just get to come in here and hit the little gear icon. Or what we learned at Chief Architect's training event was we get to just hit Control D if you want to. And that also does the same thing as just clicking the check mark. Now, something you might not be familiar with is we've got a full check mark in some of these boxes, but some of these boxes have this little line, this little horizontal line. What that means is that some of these rooms are checked as floor under room. Some of these rooms are checked as build foundation below, but some are not. That's what that line designates. So if we click on this again, it's going to put a full check mark, meaning that it is now conforming all of my selections to that option. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that there's foundation below, checking all the default stuff. There we go. Maybe I want to show room label. Now let me press OK. And what happened? Well, nothing on the foundation side. What does that tell you? Well, we don't have automatic build foundations on, is what it kind of tells me. So let me get back into the menu. Let's build a foundation. Let's automatically rebuild it until we're ready to not build it anymore. It's going to tell me all my work's going to be lost, but there we go. Bam. Now we've got something that makes sense. I want to come back in here one more time. Actually, I skipped one step. I'm going to select all those rooms again, open it up, and I want to make sure in the structure panel, this is a mono slab project. So I'm going to go ahead and check on mono slab. There we go. We've built a full mono slab. Now, the next part is that we've got some kind of retaining walls here, these big walls, right? So I believe that these probably have footings underneath them, like a thickened slab or something like that. So I'm going to select these two walls, open them up, and in the structure panel, I'm just going to call them bearing walls. And what that does is it tells Auto Build Foundation that, hey, we have a footing underneath these walls. Create wall footing below. And there we go. We see that we've got a bearing wall condition on this side. Now, I've run into this before. You see this jog? something's happening where this user's got some kind of a furring wall here. Let's actually make sure that it is a furring wall. First off, I'm going to select these two walls, open them up, and in our structure panel, okay, down at the double walled section, go ahead and check furred wall. And also, I would probably argue that I don't want these framing walls to actually frame through to my exterior walls. I probably want them to just be surface walls. They're probably just, stick frame thrown right in front of the foundation wall. So in fact, I might come in here under wall types, and it looks like they did in fact make a custom wall type for furring wall. But I want to get into the wall properties panel here, and down at the bottom, partition wall. This means that it's not going to frame through anymore. It's just going to stop at that surface level.
That's going to stop at the finished level too.
At the finished level, yeah. And just by doing those few things, notice that all of a sudden that footing is aligned now. So we're good again, right? Now I'm going to shut down this foundation view and get back to just the main plan view, and we can shut down the project browser and take a look what's going on here. This is looking a little bit cleaner. The really nice thing about this setup now, and actually I skipped one step. I've got some walls here. I'm going to choose the wall tool and then shift marquee across all my walls. That makes it so I'm restrictively selecting walls only by using the active tool plus a shift marquee selection. And I'll open this up, and I'm going to finally take off those. I'm going to uncheck that they're foundation walls, right? So they're no longer going to have a footing here. So that'll get rid of this. One of those walls is an automatically generated wall. I'm not sure why. And so, all right. So this is looking pretty clean. So now we've isolated. We've got our walkout basement is on level 1. We're not fighting a bunch of graphics in terms of footings and everything and how we want to display this in terms of a floor plan. And then we've got a floor below that shows our footing level. And if we wanted to, we can make a custom layer set and reference the floor above where it's just the walls above overlaid on top of this, if you'd like to. So you've got that option as well. Could show that, but I'm probably going to run out of time. Kind of the last step of this is that I think, yes, because we manually drew these walls and we inserted a floor, now all these roofs are at the incorrect height. Okay. And how do we fix that? Well, I needed at the very beginning, I copied that distance of the foundation level, that 33.5. I want to get into my floor defaults, and I want to look at my new first floor, and I'm going to see that that floor is this 111 3/8. I don't really want to get into exactly why this is, but if I just paste from my clipboard that negative 33.5, this is the distance I need to raise all of my roofs to put them right back where they were before. So I just subtracted that foundation level that I added from the new first floor's floor above level. And I can copy this, hit cancel, come to some view that has those roof planes, use the same tool, marquee, select all similar, and then I could use the transform replicate object and force this up in the Z delta by that amount that I just copied. And this is going to put those roofs back where they were. Let's just build all framing so we can see that deck. Cool. Walkout basement, mono slab condition, and then everything's kind of joined back up the way it should be. Oh, we got some funny little framing thing here. This is typically because you got a balloon wall condition where maybe it doesn't need to be.
Or you had some residual framing. Did you clear out the framing before
this is rebuild all framing. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Did we hit any questions while I was going?
It's really nice.
Comments?
I had a actually it has to do with Jonathan's comment, but I had a thought just to throw in here. While I agree with you that particular method solves problems, it may not be necessary for all plans. It's a methodology that Renee uses because it solves a lot of other problems, and then he's just adopted it as a kind of a standard. But if you're looking at that like, well, that goes against everything I've been taught about Chief, it's because it's a unique approach. But I can tell you the other side of that, which is that if you use the standard, everything you've learned about Chief, you can run into problems, especially where there are walkouts or a house built on a hill, where you're going to continue to do things like build a multi-story deck that comes down the hill and things like that. So, take this as a really great lesson from Renee on how to be able to beat these problems. But know also that it's the standard methods work for standard things.
Yes.
Do I have another like 6 or 7 minutes to do this for John?
Yeah, go
Or
for
we
it.
got more people doing stuff?
No, go for it.
No,
When I do a walkout basement, I know exactly what he's talking about. The auto build foundation is not going to work for the next level up. So you do have to do some manual footings and foundations. But I will just show just a really quick process for kind of doing a stepped walkout basement foundation. And the other thing for Jonathan, when he was saying that he's using it all in, for level 0, there's nothing that we can't depict or display splitting it between floor 1 and floor 0. And we get a lot of benefits from it. Whereas we're limited once we start building on floor 0 in terms of what we can display. So I see it as a big benefit to build out on floor 1. And actually, when we did a census of the class of all the power users a couple of years ago, I don't think there was a single person in the room that didn't do it that way, where we're doing our walkouts on floor 1. But I have a particular wall type that I use, and the wall type is a pony wall. And so what's happening with this wall, and actually before I even draw, I go ahead and add a second floor, because that helps me do some alignment things where my first floor might be some kind of a partially a stem wall that's being stepped, and then I've got a furring wall on top of that. And then my second floor is going to be my standard 2x4, 2x6 and siding. So because I want to keep those things aligned right off the bat and have an understanding of that relationship, I'll just build my second floor as soon as I start the project where I've got a walkout basement. Okay. And so that just makes a duplicate floor. That's the only reason I'm doing it, is just to kind of help myself understand alignment. And then I'll draw a pony wall in here on my side walls and get this aligned. There we go. Now I know the exterior surface of this pony wall is already lined up with the floor above. If we were to go pull a view here, we're going to see that that surface is solid all the way through. So I've got my alignment on my custom wall type here. And my custom wall type, the pony wall, this is a great little trick, is the lower half is a 8-inch concrete stem wall, 1/2 inch of air gap, 2x4 furring wall, drywall. And then the upper wall is my typical exterior wall assembly with that air gap, with that same furring wall, and they're aligned. And they're aligned on the inner surface. So, and I'll show you why this is kind of important and impactful. Is I'm just going to draw this through on the one side. I'm going to stop the drawing of this at about here. I'm going to actually use my concrete stem wall to draw in past that. I'll make sure that this is aligned on the main layer. I'm just going to say that this is all retention over here, just crawl space. Just that's all it's going to be. This back half of the building. Front half of the building is that walkout basement coming up from the upstairs. I'll pull a section view, and because this is a pony wall, I get to just use the brake tool. I can pin the brake, add a bunch of brakes here, come in here and start creating my step system up to that retaining wall, right? And that retaining wall is automatically adding a footing, so I am going to have to come in here and uncheck that it's a foundation wall. It was just a quick way of drawing it, but there we go. That's the side of my building now. If we go look at, kind of a 3D going around here and just hide walls facing the exterior camera, we'll change the rendering view here. Now I can come in here. I can say that this is monoslab foundation if I'd like, set that level back to 0 inches. Floor level's back at 0 inches. This floor level can be whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's never going to be shown. Or you can sit here and kind of fuss with it and get it to where it needs to be. But the kind of the thing that John's talking about here in those comments, and let me just copy that stepped foundation. I can copy this stepped foundation over to the other side, right? I can copy that stem wall over to the other side. So now I have that same setup on the other side. I need to do some alignment stuff, but there we go. Let me go up a level. With auto build foundation, if we've got a cantilevered setup here, well, we've got no footings below this. So when we go and look at this in 3D, it's not going to auto build those footings below, right? So I do have to manually draw in on this level, that support structure. But pretty quickly here, we're getting, our walkout scenario. We got a deck over the top of it, maybe this staircase down to the floor below. There you go. Build out your terrain.
Very good.
I got a golf clap from Robin.
You did. You did. Well, I was muted. We have Bluey going on next to me. I didn't want you to have to hear it.
Bluey.
Before we go too far, somebody has a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Renee.
Hey, thanks.
Oh,
Happy
Hey,
birthday.
hey, Renee. Happy
I'm not
birthday.
that smart. Facebook reminded me.
All
Yeah,
right.
okay. Yeah, nice.
Cool.
You had it just for a minute, Robin. Just for a minute, he felt special, and then
Hey,
you blew it off.
I looked at Facebook and I said happy birthday. So there you go. So I got that. But happy birthday, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
All right.
Yeah, my only birthday wish is that it cools down.
Yeah.
Come to Portland. It's cool.
Yeah, nice.
It's 66 and rainy. Shocking. We haven't had rain for so long.
Oh,
Norman, who lives in New Zealand, said happy birthday today.
Yeah.
and so did Margaret. All
Happy
right.
birthday today.
You're already that old over there. Cool. That's a good demonstration, Renee.
That was
So,
really cool.
yeah,
Renee
well
showed
done.
that you showed that when John was doing that whole terrain thing. You did that.
Yeah.
But I got it this time. This time I actually understood what you were doing. Last time I was like, I have no clue. So very well done. Nicely done.
Yes.
Bill, stop it. Don't think he's younger than he is. He really is old. So don't.
He's just well
he's not as old as Robin, though. He's not as old as Robin.
No, he is not as old as me. He's still a baby, but he's not 20.
Yeah, as far as those walkout goes, the walkout plans, I do teach it differently. I do teach drawing it in the foundation plan, but a lot of the same concepts. So I like the foundation plan. I draw a lot, everything. Right. So, but the way you did your slab footing, the monolith footing, I like how you did that. That was really well done. So, and again, that just goes to show there's different ways to get the same results in Chief Architect. So
I was helping somebody the other day, and I was surprised at how many times that I said, well, there's at least 3 ways to do this. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pick this way for you, yeah.
Isn't that the
But that's
truth?
really true. We all use the program a little differently, and
Yeah.
and you have to find what works best for you, right? And that's the
Yes.
thing is, and also be willing to say, I don't know how to do that. Help me out, right?
Right.
What? Do you want to go potty? Let's go
No,
potty.
thanks. I'm good, Robin.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm so
We'll wait till the
sorry.
show's over.
You guys, I am so sorry.
Oh man.
Goofball.
All right, cool. So let's see. I didn't get very many plans coming in. I had a question, Renee. I'll ask you this one. I think I sent this to you earlier. I had a question on doing curved stairs with glass curved panels.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw
Is
that.
that a doable thing?
Curved stairs with what?
Curved panels.
Curved glass panels.
Yeah, he wanted a curved glass panel. I can show it to you on my computer if you want to see it.
Why couldn't you just do that as a wall type?
Well, here, let me just bring it up on my
What's the
computer.
type? Yeah. Put it up on the screen.
Let me open up that plan real quick that I was messing with. Where'd it go? Curved stairs. Okay. Yes.
We should still be able
Let me show my screen. Here, I'll just show you what I've got here. Oops. So you should see my screen, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I did 2 ways. I did it one where the wall is under the stair and where the wall is next to the stair. All right, so when we do this one like this, and I'm trying to create panels, that this is the one where the wall is under the stairs, and I've clicked on the wall. Let's see how to do that one again. You click on the wall and you hit under rail style, you click stair follows, the railing follows the stairs. Okay, you turn that on. And then of course I made it panels. Okay, so I'm using panels under the rail style. And the panels don't curve to match the stair. And I kind of, that makes sense because a panel in Chief Architect is much like a symbol, much like a toilet. Okay, a toilet's a symbol. You can't bend a toilet. Why would you be able to bend a symbol that represents a stair panel? Okay, so that kind of makes sense to me. So my question is, how do we make it so that we can bend the panels? And then I did it the other way too, where I did the pony wall dealing, and same thing. See how that panel doesn't bend?
Yeah.
That's a metal panel. The railing bends fine because that's following the stairs. Now this again, this is a pony wall where the top is a railing. So again, I'll just show people how that works. So if you want to do it curved, if you want to do any kind of a railing next to a stairway, it doesn't have to be curved. It can be anything. You just put the wall next to the stair. You make the wall type what you want on the bottom, and then you make it a pony wall and use the same wall type on the top, or it can be different too. And then you make it a railing, specify railing, and Chief will make the top portion of that wall a railing, and it will follow the stairs then if you check the under the railing option to follow stairs. This is really the key. You got to follow the stairs. And but when you use panels, they don't bend. I was curious if you had noticed that before, Renee.
I know that that is a limitation of the software.
Yeah.
But ultimately you want it to look the way you want it to look. So just thinking about the capabilities of the software and what we can do in terms of bending something, let me will you find that millwork symbol that is the panel that you're using?
Oh, sure. Let me open that up.
Oh, we're about to venture into Renee land.
Yeah,
I figured we'd get those wheels cranking here. It's called the trisection under ironwork.
And then will you just place that in the plan as a standalone thing?
Let me do that. I'm going to have to. Can I do that from here? I'm going to have to go to the library. Whoops, to do that. All right, come on. Searching for it. Here it is. So there, I could just pop it in here like this. So there's that trisection. So again, that was drawn as a CAD, 3D.
And how
object.
wide is that? I didn't quite see it.
The section itself is, I could make a section that's shorter.
60 inches.
65 feet.
And now place a cabinet.
Yeah.
Now it's magic.
Make that cabinet 60 inches wide. Turn that into a bow front cabinet.
I never figured he'd come back to cabinets, but okay, that makes perfect sense so far. So we're going to go bow front.
Okay, make it so that
in
there's
or out?
no toe kick, no countertop.
You want to go
You don't
in
even
or out
want
with
the
the bow?
box.
Does it matter?
You
Okay,
crack.
so we're gonna go no toe kick, no backsplash, no countertop.
Yep. No. Right. We're going to end up making left, right, and sides disappear. So go to the front sides back. Delete the drawer. Delete everything but the door.
Delete the drawer.
Make the door, instead of auto right, just make it right.
Do you delete the separations, Renee?
Make
There-
the specify the shelves and make sure we're turning that off. So manual 0. Go to the left side and say none.
Left
That's
side
at
of
the
the
top.
cabinet. Oh, up here, go left.
Yeah. And
And
under
say
side
default.
type, just say none.
Under default, where it says use default at the top.
Oh, thank you.
None, all the way down at the bottom.
Yep. Now go to the right side and make it none. Go to the back side and make it none.
Oops. And back is none.
Go to box construction panel.
Remove the bottom.
Say that it's got no top, no bottom.
Second section there.
Thank you.
No top, no bottom.
And press OK.
Renee, do you get rid of the sections, the separations?
Well, all we got left is a door now.
Okay.
And now take your panel, convert it to a cabinet door. The millwork on the right
No,
hand side.
the millwork, the railing, Dan. The railings
This,
like
grab
that.
that.
Yeah. So use the convert symbol too in your edit toolbar
This one.
Yep.
Mhm.
and convert it to a cabinet door.
Now you can spray it on. Of course.
And press OK. Wait, and there we go. And now you got that curved panel.
Of course.
That's cool.
And so you could apply, so now you'd have to convert that to a millwork
But can I
and
get
reapply it to the
Would you-
railing.
Would
Now
you have
select
to
it.
radius
Select
of that?
it and change it again, Dan, to millwork. Convert it again.
Yep.
Now you have to change it to millwork. And
okay?
And we
I don't know about the rest of you, but I was looking at that set of stairs, and the first thing I thought of was that railing should be a cabinet.
oh, come on, Kevin, you think that way too because you've been a cabinet. So there you go.
But I
and
bent
we
it
did
the
the bow
wrong way.
backwards. I knew we were going to do the bow backwards. Dang it. It just
Does
means
it
you got to
work?
rotate it. You got to
Does
rotate
it
it
work
in the
to
Yeah,
left.
you have to
reverse the
rotate
wall?
it.
Just reverse the wall.
Oh, there you go. That was quick.
Did I
Renee,
miss it?
Hit the
don't you
reverse
also
wall.
You didn't
have to
quite get the
know-
radius right. But
No, but get the concept. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I like
But
that.
then you can. Do you have the ability when you're creating the bow front cabinet to set the radius of the cabinet face?
Yeah,
So you could have measured the radius and then set it in the creation of the.
I could have.
panel.
Yeah, I could have made that,
Can you change
minus
the radius?
-5.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
you could do
Yeah,
that. You
there
can
you go.
make it whatever you want, so that allows you to change that. That's cool. I like that.
Awesome.
All right.
You,
Well,
sir,
that
are-
was interesting, and that just ate up the rest of our time today.
Yeah.
That was fun. I've never
Nice.
messed with it quite like that, but you guys know that Renee has this amazing kitchen package. He has an amazing closet package. He has an amazing fireplace package.
Yeah.
Just head over to rabbitdesign.net and check him out because he does this kind of stuff all day long to create amazing things that you can use in your plan that you just click in and poof, done.
I'm glad that worked. I haven't actually tried that before. So that was cool.
Well, that's how we find out, right?
Nicely
Cool.
done.
That
Very
was
nicely
awesome.
done.
Good
All right,
job.
everybody. That was really cool. Thanks, Renee.
Happy
so
birthday
cool.
again, Renee.
So
Have a
again, head
lovely
over
day.
to the website, check it out. I see Melissa with HI Remodeling just joined us for the summit. Way to go, Melissa. We look forward to seeing you there. Maybe she's on the call, I hope. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Next time we're going to next time we might talk a little bit about some software. I'm not sure yet. We were discussing this yesterday or 2 days ago, in our meeting. We meet every couple of weeks about their shows that we do and trying to figure out topics. If you guys have topics that you would like us to discuss, by all means, drop me an email.
Oh, someone
and let us know.
much earlier said that they wanted a screen share to show something that they were having a problem with, but
That was
We
mine.
can't do that with this software.
we could point them to some place where they could upload the plan, right? You got a link to that?
Yeah, if you go to Chief Experts Academy and go to the designer show link, here, I can bring up that website real quick. Show my screen. Where's my screen go? Check it out. No.
You want your screen up?
Yeah, just show my screen. So next time we do this, if you have questions, just go over to chiefexperts.com. And I've got a little deal set up here under the designer show where you can upload a plan. You click this button, submit your plan here. There's a quick little 2-minute video that talks about how to make it into a zip file and follow that video. It's really important. It'll give you, plus you'll learn how to back it up to give it to other people. Tell us your name, address, email, or name and email and what you need help with, and hit here and it drops it in my Dropbox, and poof, we're ready to go. So it works really slick. And I don't know if you know that in Dropbox, you can invite people to put things into a folder. There's a setting in there. I don't remember what it was now, but it works really well. So you can do that. A lot of my clients use that just to send me their plans anyway. So it's just a really nice little tool to have if they're not using Dropbox. So, all right, our time is up. You guys, thanks again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Have a good day, guys. Take care.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.